Okay, so today we're going to be interviewing Luca, talking a little bit about Luca's art journey and how Luca basically went from where he was at probably before working with Artist Rise and then afterwards. I think it's going to be a really, really good one. I'll go ahead and let Luca introduce himself. So you go ahead and introduce yourself, Luca.
Great. Hi, I'm Luca Demiro. I was watching Jaroid's program on social media for quite some time before I drummed up the courage to join. And I was obviously seeing what the feedback was and where he was advertising and seeing, obviously watching the material and seeing some of the success stories. So I joined the program 2 months ago. I'm now in my second month. It's been quite a journey. Quite a learning. It's made me look at myself in ways which I never thought of before. It's been quite amazing in helping me to really connect with my authentic self and really find why I do what I do. And that involves a bit of a journey, positive and negative. Um, and yeah, it's been quite an experience so far, and I'm really enjoying it. Being part of this program, learning from myself and from others, and most of all, seeing how people are growing as a person and as an artist for me is a big thing.
Yeah.
Um, and just the whole mindset thing for me behind this whole program is quite life changing. And it is making you think of obviously the outcomes being freedom, financial freedom, life freedom, but the journey that you are on to get from A to Z needs to be enjoyed throughout the process. And that's what I'm learning right now.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm just learning to enjoy every single day, just enjoy the highs and lows. And yeah, that's what I would say is my advice to people that are either considering to join the program or are currently on the program.
All right. That was one crazy in-depth intro. And I want to say thank you for that. So yeah, that was a really, really good intro. But let me ask you this. So we're gonna get into like the nitty-gritty details so people
Uh-huh.
get a really good understanding for like Luca. So first, what type of art you create? Like if you had to describe your art, how would you describe it?
I create both abstract, more realist art and abstract. So I would say I'm a versatile artist, a
Yeah.
contemporary versatile artist.
Just curious, is that one of your pieces behind you on the wall?
That's one of the older pieces, yeah.
Yeah, okay, okay. Just so everybody can get an idea of what your work actually looked like. So let me ask you this. How long have you been creating artwork?
So I studied art back when I was 20 to 23. I did art and graphic design. And then obviously my art career pretty much went dormant for a number of years because I was on a corporate pathway. And then I have been dabbling in paint for a number of years, but not regularly. And then over the last 3 years, I've painted quite a lot. I've really thrown myself into it.
Yeah.
So I would say the last 3, 4 years, I've really been very focused on my art and putting a lot of my energy and passion into it.
Do you feel like for those years that it was like dormant and you was working a corporate job, did you
Yeah,
just choosing the corporate job because you were just thinking like maybe I just can't make a living selling artwork? Because that's what most people say.
100%. 100%. My Obviously there's a lot of negative media around artists and that you can make a life out of being an artist. And that is purely self belief. Um, and there is huge possibilities. The world has changed. The world is all online now. You've got a lot of different platforms and places where you can put yourself out there and really communicate your story as an artist.
Yeah.
So that is transformational. And it's really, this whole journey is about mindset.
Yep. I agree. I tell so many artists that like mindset is so crucial. Let me ask you this. Are you full time at this point as an artist?
I'm full time at this point. Full time income from this program, most certainly. I'm in month 2 now. I pat myself in the back and think I've done quite well.
We're
Uh,
gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna talk about it. So let me ask you this: now that you've been full time, I know this is a question a lot of artists have for themselves. How much are you charging for your work? Like, what do you price and start? Like, how expensive can it get?
so I'm doing larger pieces. So I would say 32 by 24 inch, Those I'm charging from around $2,500
Yeah.
upwards.
Is that like your most
Generally,
expensive?
generally, my larger statement pieces in general, I don't sell for anything under 2,000, and it goes up from two.
Okay, so the least expensive is 2,000.
Yeah, the least expensive of my larger statement pieces, originals, 2,000.
A lot of artists question if they should be selling prints or not. Are you selling prints?
I have sold a couple of prints. On this program so far, I've sold 5 prints.
How much are you charging for your prints?
I sold an A1 size canvas print yesterday for $750.
For 750 for a print.
$750 for a print which I stuck down from 1,000.
I want you. So let me ask you this. With that being said, you talk a lot about the program you already mentioned so far. So let me ask you, and this is for a lot of artists. Why did you decide, you know what, I'm gonna actually join Artist Rise?
I think I joined Artist Rise because I wanted to understand a little bit around the methodologies and probably the blueprint. And it's given me a baseline and a template to work from. Hey, mindset is most certainly not templated. That's a very emotional process.
Yeah.
But in terms of the commercial aspect of putting your work out there and earning a living, that is most certainly templated, and you do not need to have creativity to do that. But for me, learning this blueprint has been really transformational.
Okay. Now, here's the thing. After you went through the training, like you mentioned, you've been in training for 2 months. At this point, you're like, yep, it was worth it, right? Obviously, as you're saying. But on that initial call before you joined, were you nervous? Were you hesitant? Like, I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
was hesitant, but and I can understand your strategy and where you come from and how you determine your value proposition to me as a customer. Obviously, you've got certain aspects, price points, which you have to put onto that, but that is also incentivize the artists to really believe in this program and then also believe in the possibilities of the financial reward that they can take from it.
Yeah.
So, but initially when I did join, I was like, whoa, I'm not sure this is going to be for me from a commitment and a financial perspective. But it totally is if you're prepared to put the time and effort into learning this. And I will say, with a very open mind and a constant mindset of learning, testing, repeating feedback, you will succeed in this program.
Yeah. So going back to you being nervous when you first was getting started, what made you decide to yourself? Because it's the case for a lot of artists. What made you decide to yourself, you know what? Even though it's a bit of a financial investment, even though you don't know about the time commitment, what made you say, I'm gonna do it? I'm in.
I think what did it for me was I know I have the passion and the talent, but it was commercializing that
Yeah.
and believing how I'm going to find financial freedom out of it. And I'm really determined. And I have been brainstorming this for a number of years, but I haven't quite had the techniques to enable me to increase my sales, for example. And I've probably not been, how can I say, putting myself as an artist in the right light to get my unique value proposition across to my potential customers.
Yeah.
And that's really helped me find out rather than what is selling the art, but why am I creating the art in the first place? And that's getting my message across, which builds a connection with people, which is in turn making them want to attach themselves to your piece of art.
Yeah. No, what you and now that you're a part of, you mentioned that you've been a part of Artist Rise for 2 months, right? Before joining, because you were still on this art journey of trying to sell, what was the biggest thing you feel like you're struggling with or stopping you from making those sales?
Before this program,
Yeah.
having to collaborate with galleries, having to constantly update my site but not get traffic to my site, and spending a lot of time on admin. And then doing face-to-face art fairs in places where my art didn't belong wasn't really helping me make sales.
Yeah.
Um, so I think it was just getting the platforms and the outlets to help get me sales, which I was really struggling with.
Yeah.
Um, and then obviously that leads to a negative spiral, right? Frustration, you think you're not worthy, your art is not good, and it's all these spiraling mindsets which you're creating stories of within yourself, which don't do you any favors.
Yeah. So now that you're inside the training, I know a lot of artists just like outside of my program have this very bad relationship with like finances and money. Inside the training, I have all my artists talk about it a lot because I want them to have a great relationship with it. So with that being said, when you first got started, what was your initial goal? How much you want to earn per month selling your work, if you don't mind sharing?
When I first started the program, I was saying anything between $8,000 and $10,000 a month, and my goal was to achieve that within 3 to 6 months.
Yeah. Is that still the goal?
That is still the goal. I'm in month 2 now, and yeah, I am slowly creeping up to the 8,000 on month 2. I'm, yeah, a couple of thousand short of that, but yeah, it's I'm quite happy with the results so far.
Yeah. And what you've been a couple thousand short. You just on month two, so that's less than 60 days. For month two, if you don't mind sharing, how much
Yes.
have you made so far? And this is currently month two. So where you're at as
Uh,
of the what is it, like the 20th? The 20th of month two.
On this program and the platforms that I've used to market my work on this program, I'm just sitting on just over 6,000 at the
Yeah.
moment. But I have also sold another piece of artwork through another art fair. And I've sold a couple of prints outside this program, but using some of the methodologies of this program.
Like the sales part.
Yeah, like the sales part. So if I had to put those sales in, I'm sitting on over 7,000 now.
Yeah.
But on this program of pieces through the channels that I've sold, I'm sitting on a 6,100
Yeah.
currently.
We had a few artists. This don't happen often, but I had a few artists who came into the training and they literally just took the sales script that we teach. They just went there art fairs and just crushed it at a ton of art fairs. Like they didn't even go through the rest of the training. They're like, dude, the sales script's so good. I didn't even learn the training yet. So the fact that you're using like both the online platform and as well as like the fairs is really, really good. Not many artists do it.
For me, the icebreaker for me is, yeah, building the emotional connection in the report. That can take quite a bit of effort because you don't, it's cultural as well. People respond differently, people use different words, different language barriers. So that is where the hard work is. But the stacking, I find it's not difficult. Like
Yep.
there's always going to be a benefit for the customer, whether it's an original or print, there is always a benefit. But people don't understand this thing of no pricing, because I still get asked this now, but I want a price. And then I basically say to them, no, for
Wait,
me,
no, here's the thing. Don't give away too much.
yeah,
Don't give away too much.
exactly. Yeah.
But no, I get it though. Yeah. The conversation, a lot of artists say the conversation and how we go about having that conversation with building rapport and stacking.
Exactly.
By the way, stacking for those watching, stacking is like a term we use inside the training that
Yeah.
may not be familiar with, but everybody seems to love the conversation.
Yes.
Everyone. And it allows you to build a relationship with a complete stranger so fast. So let me ask you this. You mentioned the goal was 8 to 10,000. That's a really good goal. That's a big goal for some artists. So why was your goal 8 to 10?
Well, obviously, I earlier in this year, I lost my corporate job. I was in quite a senior corporate role and I was made redundant. And these situations I've been faced with, I was permanent. I've been faced with these similar scenarios for a number of years where I haven't had control over my life because companies are always changing, the world is changing. And I was like, no, now is the time to do it. No time's the right time. I have a passion, I have a talent, just do it. No time's the
Yeah,
right time. So I am obviously I want to upkeep my lifestyle from my corporate job. And that's why I set my goal quite high like that. And it also keeps me motivated because if you've got a lower end goal, you're not really going to do very much to achieve it.
yeah,
So it's a lifestyle thing for me and it's a motivation thing. And that's how I've tried to find an even benchmark for a realistic goal.
yeah,
Initially, when I did join the program, I will be honest with you, I thought, whoa, this goal is really high. But it is totally possible to achieve it if you're doing the right things. and you're getting yourself out there and you having those conversations.
Yeah. Now, you say originally like, whoa, 8,000, that's a big goal. But now, technically, if you add up all your sales together, whether that's through like the fairs or online, month two, you had just about 8,000.
Yeah,
Look,
exactly. And my first month, I've got a bit of a challenge on a large original that I've sold, which I'm trying to sort out. So I'm trying to save that one at the moment. But you'll find like this program, you're going to have challenges like this, but it's all part of the fun and games.
let me ask you this, because I see this happen a lot. Like when you first was like, wait, 8,000 is a little bit of a scary goal. Once you got into like the group of all the other artists, and you started seeing like their numbers, we like, wait, hold on, holy shit, I gotta do 8,000. Did that happen?
Yeah, I thought it was very unrealistic. I mean, personally, there's a couple of guys in this program that are totally crushing it. But you know what? People very rarely see the full story of someone's journey and what they've been
Yeah,
on. The people that are crushing it on this program have worked damn hard behind the scenes, most certainly, I'm sure of that. And they've not just joined the last 2, 3 months. They've been on this program for a year, 2, 3 years before they started really making big money.
yeah,
Um, and yes, it's very inspirational, it's very motivating, but you can either see it as an encouragement to really move forward with your life and change and improve, or you can see it as a jealousy thing. And I choose the latter. I always see it as an inspiration because
of
you want
course,
to see people doing well.
of course. And that's the thing that we talk to a lot of new artists, and I meet an artist and they say like, "Hey, my goal is 20,000, 30,000." Because I seen this artist and I say, "Oh, wait, you just don't know the type of work and commitment that artists put into hit that goal, right?" So I said like pace yourself first, right? And the crazy thing is like now you've seen it, but you're in those same shoes because you're the one who joined less than 60 days ago. And I tell artists, everybody have the same process, the same mentors, the same access. So for you to be able to go from just about 0 to 8,000 by month two, it shows a lot. I tell if you want to notice, I always say if you want to notice the difference and why some artists achieve some numbers quicker than others, it's just solely based on commitment and how deep they go into learning the information and applying it exactly as they see it. So like literally you talk about those artists that work hard, but you're literally one of those artists at this point.
Yeah, I would say I've put a lot of effort and I've really put effort and a lot of failure in, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
You can learn the script, but you need to practice it.
Yeah,
And there are some conversations I probably could have sold more art, but those conversations have been dead because I've said the wrong thing. But at the end of the day, you're not always going to have the script right in front of you and you're having a conversation, and you just got to practice. It's practice, practice, practice.
yeah. Speaking of that, what would you say was the hardest thing to like learn or master while going through these first 2 months?
The hardest thing to learn and master is, for me, not necessarily the process, it is the mindset.
Why you say the mindset?
The mindset, because you are at a stage when you're joining the program where you obviously you've paid a price point to join this program to get access to this blueprint, number one. And is there going to be a successful outcome? And you that's number two. And then number three, it's for me the self-doubt thing as well, and the self-belief. And while you're trying to build and learn and get traction, your obviously motivation levels are quite low because you're not getting incentivized financially all at the same time. So there is quite an I feel like my journeys every day are still like up and down because
Yeah,
I'm not at the stage where I got huge traction. I'm still trying to get people interested. I'm putting myself out there on social media platforms. I'm posting consistently. I'm doing all the stuff to funnel traffic,
yeah,
and I'm still at that funneling stage. So what I'm saying, the message I'm trying to say is basically the mindset is key on this program, um, and you need to stay positive. Doesn't matter what, just stay positive and always try and find a solution for everything in a positive way. So
yeah.
think of the challenge as an opportunity.
Yeah, no, that's so true. I tell artists a big part in success, like those two doing crazy numbers, like 50, 60, 70,000. I said just solely mindset. Like when you talk to those artists, they see success as the only option and they're just after it. Like their mindset is so positive and so focused on growth and success that is unbelievable. That's what I tell artists. I say if you just have the mindset and a commitment, it's a game changer,
Yeah,
right?
100%.
With that being said, for those artists, because this happens a lot, for the artists that don't have that mindset, the artists that kind of have to deal with self doubt, a bit nervous to take action when it comes to their art career, what advice would you give them as far as just mindset?
In terms of mindset, um, I would say join the program with a very open mind, remove any assumptions or self judgments that you had before you joined this program, and just embrace it and enjoy the journey and the process. And most of all, enjoy the learning because we are constantly learning every day, and keep an open mind.
Yeah. Being someone who in the first 2 months you're at almost 8,000, well technically at 8,000 if you count all sales together. But you mentioned in your first month you had some struggles, some things you have to overcome. So now looking back, even though it's a short journey for you so far, what advice would you give yourself if you had to start like all over again from month one, day one?
If I had to start all over again from day one, is just breathe. Because when you join the program, you're very uptight. You've got these goals and these aspirations, and you put yourself under pressure to get through this stuff really quick. And I haven't even worked through all the training yet. I've done up to the end of module 5, because module 6 is once you started really getting traction. And also the lot of the bonus, we call it on this program, bonus videos and stuff. I'm reading a lot of that, and some of that stuff is covered in the later modules as well. So I've kind of parked the rest of the modules because I've learned the baseline of this program. But yeah, like I said, the biggest thing, the biggest learning now, if I had to go back to the program, would be just to take a deep breath and maybe go through the work a little bit slower.
Yeah.
And obviously, you've got to apply what you're learning, right? And people, not everyone's having conversations. People learn at different paces, and not everyone's having loads of conversations because they're just not. So I would say the quicker you can fail in this program, the quicker you'll find success.
Man, that's like the perfect answer. Man, that's the perfect answer.
Like
So
this week, Jaroid, can I give you an example? While we're recording this, I think it's good to have an example.
yeah, go ahead. It's recorded.
This week for me, I'm really for me at the moment. It's about not people loving my art. It's about trying to understand where my pain points are on social media platforms right now. I'm struggling with a couple of things, but yeah, there's a couple of things which I need to overcome, which hopefully through the bonus videos and the weekly catch-up calls and the supportive community, I'm going to help figure out what I'm doing wrong.
No, that's good. That's good. I think they're gonna get a lot of value just from this interview. Man, you share so much. If you had to give advice to just the average artist, not a trained, let's say a young artist who want to be full time like you, crushing it, what advice would you give them?
I would say no time is the right time to start something like this. And our world is evolving at an exponential pace in terms of digital. And now is the time to jump on that bandwagon, most certainly. And also, the algorithms across platforms really are changing as well. And there's a lot more focus given to creatives. So there is a lot more chance now of finding success than there was before because of the digital era.
And with you hitting your own goal almost month two, keep in mind we still got like 11 days left in this month. But you're hitting your own goal overall and almost added just simply through online with the training. What advice, or I'd even say, Yeah, what advice would you give yourself moving forward for let's say like the next 6 months?
Probably to maybe spend a bit more time um, thinking through the type of art which I want to create, which from the lessons I've learned the last 2 months, figuring out what sort of stuff I enjoy creating, but also what sort of stuff people are really enjoying. For me, doing a bit more research, I would say. Um,
You. So it's
and research, 100%, constantly research. I am doing a lot of research currently. It is taking me quite a lot of admin, but I've also had quite a few failed conversations, which not through my era, but just through um, the learning on this program, really.
yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. And being someone who went through the training at this point, learned the information. I know you still have a lot to learn, but what advice would you give me?
What advice would I give you? I would probably say some of the training could have more interactive content to it. The videos and the decks that you share could be probably probably more interactive, with different types of content on it, um, and maybe more of a summarized version of the training into a deck, which gets given to you at the end,
Yeah,
which gives you the key points, the key flavor of information you need to take away to get started.
yeah.
Um,
Oh,
as you're going through the program and all these modules, there is a lot of information that's very overwhelming. For me, a key summarized deck of key pointers is very good.
yeah. We actually have a I just think you haven't gotten in there yet because you've been so laser focused on what you're currently doing. That's great. It's working. Stay there. I'm not saying go there. But in the bonus section, they actually have a video that sums up like the whole entire training in like a 1 hour video.
All right.
I think you actually find it valuable if you just kind of like skip ahead and just go watch it because you already have everything dialed in and you're already crushing it. You're making the sales, but that'll kind of give you the overview of every little key point. So now instead of going through all those little modules, you can literally go to that key point and just watch that.
Yes.
Last, this is the last question. Where do you see yourself in 3 years as a visual artist now? And this could be just creating lifestyle, anything, just overall.
Creative lifestyle, where basically living a, a life of freedom in terms of being able to live in different places, having a mobile studio. I would really love that. Um, and then having a bigger space to create would be awesome for me. Um, and yeah, living this sort of, how can I say, swallow life,
Yeah,
really like to do. Um, and then yeah, so that's kind of from a life freedom perspective. And then from a financial perspective, I've also got some goals which I want to achieve. Um, but generally, I feel like I'm in a very happy place now and ready for this new phase of life.
yeah. And if anybody wanted to check out your work, what's your Instagram or where they can find your work or anything?
Luca Demiro artist. That is spelled Lucadom for Mary, IRO for Oscar, artist.
And if you had to leave everybody just with your last words, what words would you leave them with?
Is when an opportunity presents itself, go with it, remove any self doubt and self belief, and just follow your heart and do what makes you happy.
Yeah. Before we end, I just want to say this here. Congrats to you, Luca. Like, there's a lot of us that come into the training. I still remember our initial call because you had your call directly with me, and right out the gate, you just like locked in, came onto the Q&A call, started applying, and the results you got, like to almost get a, which could potentially be a $10,000 month this month. This month too is freaking phenomenal.
I'm hoping, Jaroid, I've got another two. I've got another two big pieces which I'm going to be releasing very soon, actually, that I've done. And I'm hoping those are going to sell.
Yep. We only are,
Well, I'm not hoping. I know they're bloody going to sell.
exactly. We only 2/3 through the month, so you still have like 11 days. So
Yeah,
I can only, I'm hoping that it sells as well. Because you can have a $10,000 month your second month. That's gonna be that just booster, and then we just keep it going from there, which is freaking amazing.
absolutely.
Which is amazing. I want to thank you for having this interview. I think a lot of people have found this really, really valuable. I know a lot of artists that watch these interviews that I do. They're typically artists who want to be a full-time artist. Like they want to be in your position. They're probably dealing with a little self-doubt. They want to create full-time. So I think they'll get a lot of value from what you shared, and that's it. We're probably going to end the interview here. I think it was great. I appreciate you for coming on, Luca, and cheers to just more
Yeah,
success and more
thank you for sending
ourselves.
the chat. Thank you.